7-13 in the conference. Georgia Tech at 14-17. And they may have only won 7 in conference play, but they can be very, very dangerous as we are underway. Notre Dame wins the opening tip. Bert Smith, Ramey Steins, and Jamel Spearman are our officials today here for game 1. Down on the low block, Davis will get the touch. 6'9" sophomore. Shrewsberry outside.
Anytime it goes inside, they're looking back outside to Shrewsberry and to Burton, and Burton is really good off the dribble.
Burton with a shot clock winding down to 5, going cross court. Davis has to attack in the lane, tiptoeing through, and a nice move to get it started. As we look at the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, under Damon Stoudemire, their starting 5, including Naithan George, who runs the point, and Miles Kelly, their top scorer at 14 a game.
So Miles Kelly can put up over 30 in a game. In fact, he had 36 earlier this year against Louisville.
Though they do scuffle to shoot at just 42%, 33 beyond the three-point line. Ndongo going down the lane, and he will lay it in, the 6'9" freshman.
And you're going to see a lot of that today. That pick and roll and then a pocket pass into the middle of the floor. And Ndongo is really good in that little short roll situation. You got to have your hand low, make him throw the ball in the air instead of that bounce pass pocket.
Notre Dame in a rebuild year, but they got Burton to stay home. Jumping in, Davis can't finish it. Comes free in the corner and deflected out of bounds. It'll stay on this end. Markus Shrewsberry, year number 1 for Notre Dame, and hoping to duplicate the run he had last year at Penn State when he led the Nittany Lions to the Big Ten Tournament Championship game as a number 10 seed.
That Penn State team was really good. Jalen Pickett, Seth Lundy, Andrew Funk. Those guys could really shoot it. And Jalen Pickett, one of the most versatile players in the country.
Davis very active in these opening seconds. Shrewsberry, tough angle shot, and somehow got it to go.
Well, Braeden Shrewsberry had 25 points at Georgia Tech. He made 5 of 9 from 3. What a move!
Look at the scoop by Wasey Reeves on the other end. Going to the opposite side of the iron for 2.
Transferred in from Florida, averaging over 10 points per game, and he's really shot the ball well in ACC play, over 41% from 3.
Irish, as Jay mentioned, knocking off Georgia Tech in both meetings. They were both very close. The Yellow Jackets played a ton of close games. Davis is off to a great start. He nails a triple.
Well, that's only his 7th made 3 of the season for Tay Davis, but he had 17 points against Georgia Tech in Notre Dame's home game where they won. They won both of them, but they won them in different ways.
Kelly up top. He'll swing it for the wing jumper, and that'll be off target by Reeves.
Rebounding games can be so important in this game. Georgia Tech did not rebound the ball well against Notre Dame in that second game. They gave up 16 offensive rebounds, and that was a crusher in a really close game.
Kapari up top. You saw how he handles the ball at 6'9", and a block and a foul. That'll go against Booth.
Wasey Reeves is an athletic wing. Played 2 years at Florida. Not quite Julius Erving against the Lakers in 1980, but pretty darn close.
Not bad.
What a nice finish. And then at the other end, just wide open, because Tay Davis is not a proficient three-point shooter. He only shoots about 16% coming into this one. He'd only made 6. They give him a little bit more room, and he took advantage of it.
Kapari at the line. Damon Stoudemire, head coach for the Yellow Jackets, the former All-American at Arizona, and was assistant coach with the Celtics before returning to college basketball. Both of these head coaches spent time on the sidelines for the Celtics. Number 2 for Kapari, and he'll drop that one in.
I'm confident in saying this about Tafara Kapari. He is the only player in this tournament that has significant cricket experience.
That's a deep dive. Here's Burton. Got it from three-point land. As we mentioned, he stayed home to play at Notre Dame and was named the ACC Rookie of the Year.
There's another one of those pocket passes right in the middle of the floor, and Ndongo needs to get all the way to the basket if he can on those, or be a playmaker out of it.
It's going to be a travel on Tay Davis, so he will turn it over. 16:47 to go here in the first half. Game number 1 of the ACC tournament. Back to that pocket pass.
Now you have to have a hand low here. Well, this is Burton knocking down the 3, just stepping back. Now, he may be small, but he's got a ton of game. Plays angles really well. And he's really improved his floor game. His decisions are better. It's slowed down. He's starting to give the ball up a little bit more now than feeling like he has to do everything himself.
George running the point for the Yellow Jackets. He'll loft that one up there. Booth grabbing the rebound. Fighting Irish 11-8 all time in the ACC tournament. They reached the final twice and won it under Mike Bray in 2015 in a magical run. Burton off the fake.
Georgia Tech switching a lot of these actions. Good fake.
And swishes it in. He's got some game.
He's really improved that pull-up game. He can really get to the rim. But now when he's facing defenses, his middle game has really improved. And this is a big-time pull-up. Little step back, the shot fake, let the defender fly by. And that's not an easy little short corner shot, but he made it look easy. What a start for Notre Dame.
As we mentioned, staying home. Mishawaka right down the road there from South Bend. 535 points in the regular season. That's a freshman record for Notre Dame. So his career off to a terrific start. And a quick whistle here. And we will have a timeout. Notre Dame shooting it well. 5
offensive rebounds they gave up in that second game against Notre Dame. That was the difference in the game.
Irish get it into Roper. Up top for Burton. And by the way, is also number 6 in assists and number 4 in steals in the conference. He does it all. Guy getting that big rebound underneath will kick it out for a second effort.
And that's the kind of thing we were just talking about. Georgia Tech did a good job. Their first shot defense was good, but they give up an offensive board.
Burton, oh, pretty shot. Slamming on the brakes. He's lightning quick.
He's got a ton of game. And he's playing totally under control. He had the ball in his hands all the time in high school, but now he gives it up. Really impressive to watch.
He had a 31-point game against Wake Forest. Kapari. And they whistle with 15:15 left in the half. And Burton already putting on a bit of a show.
This is a playmaking point guard. Waits to get the screen, and he's got that burst of speed. Gave a little pass fake. Watch a little pass fake he gives here, and that got the defense just to bite a little bit. Kapari goes for that fake, and that allowed Burton to get that shot off.
Now Burton's on a personal 7-0 run as the Irish have opened it up 14-5. Jumper on the way, and that clangs high off the side of the backboard by Ndongo. Roper moving into the paint. Double fake. Battling for the rebound, and a tie-up on the play, and a possession arrow will take it to the other end.
Notre Dame is an interesting defensive team. They're ranked in the top 30 in the country in defensive metrics. They don't play pack line. It's not quite like Virginia's defense, but there are some pack line principles. And you'll notice that they're really packed into the lane, and then they'll recover out to shooters.
Ndongo up top. They'll swing it here for Sturdivant. It's been around a long time for the Yellow Jackets. Long one coming by Kelly, who's been quiet so far. Certainly a high volume shooter for Georgia Tech. They have missed their last 5 shots. And a whistle foul with 14:25 to go.
That was a smart play by Burton. He knew that Sturdivant was going to have a hard time getting legal guarding position in transition, and just took it right into the middle of the lane and right into his body to pick up that foul.
The Irish beating Georgia Tech in both meetings this season. They were both close. One was overtime in Atlanta, 75-68. And the game in South Bend was decided by 3 points, 58-55.
And they were both different. I mean, the first game, Georgia Tech's turnovers were the problem. In the second game, their inability to grab a defensive rebound. There's Shrewsberry, and he's really good at coming off screens and setting his feet. An excellent three-point shooter when he does that. When his shot prep is really good, he can shoot it.
And Coach's son was the star in the victory over Georgia Tech at Notre Dame. He had 25 on the drive, and that's going to roll in on a smooth move by Kelly, who gets on the board. And he'll head to the line looking for a three-point play.
Miles Kelly can really score. Does a great job of avoiding the defense. And now let's take a look here at Shrewsberry. And just watch his movement off the ball. He goes from slow to fast, comes around that staggered screen and sets his feet so quickly. Just really good work and early work by Braeden Shrewsberry.
He's had some big games. He was 5 for 9 with 3 threes in the overtime victory against Georgia Tech. He can nail that long shot. He had 23 in a victory over Louisville as well. And a time on the floor, 13:55 left in the half. And maybe a little blood on the floor. I think that's what they're mopping up here. Indeed, that is the case.
Dave, it is not the ACC tournament unless there's blood on the floor.
That's for sure. You were talking to us before we tipped off today about how much you love this event. And this has been such a spectacular event over the years. It's been great viewing, whether you're here in person or watching on television.
And I know things have changed over the years. I get it. But when I played a million years ago, the ACC champion was the tournament champion. There was no such thing as a regular season championship. You could finish first, but you weren't recognized as the ACC champion. Everybody came to whether it's Greensboro, Atlanta, or Washington, D.C. at that time, and they competed their tails off for this tournament title. And I think it's still really meaningful. Obviously, it's more difficult if you have to play on Tuesday or Wednesday to go ahead and win this thing. But especially for Georgia Tech and Notre Dame, these are really meaningful games. I mean, both Damon Stoudemire and Markus Shrewsberry trying to build programs. And these are forward-looking games for them to play. They're trying to establish something. And I think they're both doing a really good job of it.
It's tournament basketball.
Yeah. I mean, what's better than this?
Shy up top. Well, hand off for Burton. Booth will launch a long one. Got a good look.
Oh, that's really good action. Burton got a screen, then came off a little handoff. And the screener, Booth, was the one who was wide open, the initial screener. Good pass.
Ndongo will give it up. And that one, nothing but net. Feathery touch by Naithan George. Not a big score. Gets about 9 a game. But he can do damage.
That was a great play by Ndongo. He knew he couldn't get all the way to the basket, came to a 2-footed jump stop, threw the defense, and then was a playmaker, looking out to George for that wide open 3. That was a big time play by Ndongo. Good pass.
Konechny now into the game, gets into the paint. Roper too strong, and a foul underneath and rebounding action. 17-10 Notre Dame.
Now watch this play by Baye Ndongo. When he catches the ball, he catches it in a short roll. So he'll come set the screen, then rolls, and comes to a 2-footed jump stop. Look, everybody around him, all 4 Irish defenders off the ball are in the lane. And he did a really good job of looking opposite to find Naithan George for that wide open jumper.
Booth just picked up his 2nd foul for the Fighting Irish. Georgia Tech grabbing some momentum here. Sturdivant gets a look straight on. Can't ask for better than that. Notre Dame comes away with the rebound.
Well, in the last few possessions, Georgia Tech seems to have slowed down a little bit on offense, and they're getting better shots. That was a really good shot, just didn't make it.
Sturdivant with his 2nd foul, the senior out of Norcross, Georgia.
Sturdivant was the starting point guard last year. And he's been really helpful, I think, to Naithan George. Sort of been a big brother to him and has put his arm around him and really helped him develop as a point guard and a leader. Now Sturdivant coming off the bench, he received a ton of votes for the ACC 6th man.
He's their best foul shooter, too. Should have come down to that in the final seconds. Himes into the game. Shrewsberry will give it up. Matt Zona also in now, the 6'9 senior. Another guy's been around forever. Swung here for Davis. Shot clock inside half. Boy, did they move it beautifully, and Zona knocks it down.
Boy, it looked like Davis was going to come off that action to his right-hand drive. He is a right driver, but found Zona wide open. That was a beautiful pass.
Sturdivant again, getting airborne. They'll swing for the corner. Kelly. Rebound tipped and controlled by Himes. Notre Dame quick to the other end of the floor, but can't get it done. Davis with a miss. He got off to such a quick start.
It's a really good challenge at the rim by Ndongo.
That's a traveling violation. against Georgia Tech. Moment trying to avoid a third defeat at the hands of the Irish. It's so difficult, as the old saying goes, to beat anybody 3 times in one season. And we'll see about today.
A zoom action, a screen into a handoff. Good pass.
Zona downstairs trying to wriggle free. Nicely done.
How about the patience of Matt Zona when he caught that ball? He didn't go up right away. He just let everything clear, let all the traffic clear until he had one-on-one in the post underneath.
Senior move there. Big body at 6'9", too. George looking to get inside, can't do it. Into the paint. Claude will finish that one. John Claude, 6'8" senior, grad transfer from Western Carolina, his first bucket.
Boy, that was a nice pass by Gapari. Took it down to the baseline, basically jumped out of bounds with 2 defenders off.
Irish trying to build on their lead. Zona with the fake. Here's Burton. Shot clock to 9. He's going to take a long one and swish it in. A 3-pointer.
Well, he just stopped on a dime there, and the defense just flew by. They couldn't stop with him.
Markus Burton, 10 points to lead all scorers. He is playing like the ACC Rookie of the Year. George, little bump there, no whistle. He'll find the window for 2.
Boy, that was 2 outstanding freshman point guards going against one another. And Markus Burton initially did a great job of staying in front, but George just pivoted around him. That was not an easy shot, but he made it look easy.
George hit the game-winning shot when they took down North Carolina in the final seconds.
A good switch out by Claude because Burton was coming off ready to shoot that thing.
Airmailed by Davis, and after a hot start, he certainly cooled off. Gapari jumping into the lane will kick it out. George is the open shooter and knocks in a 3-pointer.
Another really good pass. You mentioned Naithan George had that 16 points against Carolina, including the game winner. He also had 20 against Clemson. He's been really good in ACC play. He's averaging about 10 points and 5 assists.
Tournament starting right here with this game between the 12 and 13 seeds. Davis slicing inside. They're going to wave that off. They're going to count that basket because that was touched by Georgia Tech. Count that hoop.
So Farah Gapari started the last 8 games for Georgia Tech. Just gives a little euro and kicks it right out. And Naithan George had more time to shoot than he gets in a horse game, but look at that stop move by Markus Burton. Just backs up a little bit, blows a little kiss, and tells everybody to shut up.
Sturdivant out for George. Looking for a lane, the kick here. Gapari likes to move with it.
A good recovery by Notre Dame defensively.
Stolen away by Roper. Burton fires, got it. He's had a terrific first half.
He's on fire, and Roper made a great pass there. Good vision to, I'm sure Burton yelled that he was open behind him, but that's a heck of a play in transition. Boy, Burton is playing with so much energy on both ends of the floor.
From the corner, Gapari short. Rebound tapped out high, and another chance here for the Yellow Jackets. Down 29-18.
Boy, smart play by Reeves. He couldn't grab it, just knock it to a teammate.
Sturdivant, that one almost went beyond midcourt, but he saved it. Shot clock at 7. Reeves, who has made the shot of this first game so far. George has to heave it up there. He hits the 3 with the shot clock winding down.
Well, we're seeing 2 good young point guards go against each other. Right now, Burton is getting a little bit of the better of it, but Naithan George is making his name known in this game.
Yeah, he has 11. The rookie from Toronto going toe-to-toe with Burton.
A good job by Sturdivant to stay with Shrewsberry on that cut.
Roper, shot clock a factor, down to 4. He's going to have to fire, and hits the 3.
It's almost like the shot clock going down is freeing for these guys.
Yes. A little more urgency. Ndongo slice it in, will drop in the bucket.
Well, that's a tough one for Braeden Shrewsberry to have to try to stop, but Ndongo's really good in that little middle pick and roll where he can just roll right to the basket. His feet are good. And that was a quality finish.
Baye Ndongo had 21 against Duke. Also 5 rebounds and 4 blocks. That kind of felt like a coming out party for him.
He was unstoppable in the middle pick and roll in that game.
Burton with a fall away. Off the iron. And Georgia Tech will take over possession. 32-23 Notre Dame.
Let's say get old and stay old. Well, that doesn't apply to the Notre Dame backcourt right now. These are 2 freshmen, and they're very talented, and they're only going to get better from here. And they're really good now.
Naithan George has been getting it done, certainly for the Yellow Jackets. Gapari in close, not there for him. Rebounded away by Booth.
Boy, Gapari's got a lot of ability, and he's only going to get better.
Burton high up on the wing. Shrewsberry, mid-range, gets it to go.
That was really pretty. A great job by Burton to use that ball screen and then execute the throwback back to the side that he came from. And when Shrewsberry caught it, gave a little shot fake. And that fake was really important in getting that shot.
George will fire, too strong this time. Booth another rebound. He's really given Notre Dame a big lift coming off the bench. As far as crashing his glass.
The son of Calvin Booth, the Penn State great, spent a lot of years in the NBA, also an NBA executive.
Burton off the front of the iron, one and done. Yellow Jackets trying to creep a little bit closer. George has kind of put the team on his back, but Ndongo getting inside will lay in 2.
That's amazing. That was the first shot I think that Notre Dame's taken that was questionable. And it leads to an easy bucket on the other end. It's amazing how that works. Your offense and your defense are connected. And you take a questionable or bad shot, it puts your defense in a bad spot. Good pass.
Guy trying to wriggle free. He'll draw the foul with 5:08 remaining in a half.
Take a look at this action. Markus Burton, coming off that little ball screen, just throws back on the shake action, and that little shot fake was really important in getting that drive, and it was a terrific floater over the outstretched arms of a defender. Braeden Shrewsberry's got a lot of game.
Kevin Jai at the line, 75% foul shooter. Kelsey, Luke, Joel, and Carlos coming your way. Nothing but net all day between games. Then they wrap up day 1 of the tournament after the last game on ACC Network. A terrific crew led by the great Kelsey Riggs.
A Natalie attired group.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know any better, you'd think there were 3 bankers that took the afternoon off to come watch the game.
36-25.
Luke Hancock, ACC legend, but never played in the ACC. He played in the Big East.
Kelly up high here for George. Under 5 minutes to go before the break. That crossover slapped away by Burton. He races out in front. He'll kick it out. Loose on the baseline. And it'll stay right here with 4:41 to go in the half.
How about the hands, Dave, on Markus Burton to get that steal? He tried to keep Naithan George out of the middle. George was still able to get there. But if he shows the ball a little bit, Markus Burton's going to take it from him.
Burton has his hands all over this thing in the first half for the Fighting Irish. Thought about taking a 3 there. George came out to guard him. Konechny. Notre Dame has played a stout first half. Trying to add to that. Davis bullying his way inside will draw another foul. And Davis will be off to the line to shoot. Fouled by Gapari. That's number 2 on the 6'9" sophomore.
That was a smart play by Davis to take the ball back out. Looked like he was going to go for a little handoff action, but take a look at Markus Burton here. Watch these hands, just knocking it away just off the leg of Naithan George, and all of a sudden Notre Dame is getting out in transition as a result.
So Gapari will head to the bench here. Again, a couple of personal fouls for him. Round number 1 of the ACC tournament, game number 1. Georgia Tech and Notre Dame meeting for the 3rd time this season.
I think Davis really likes playing against Georgia Tech. He's averaging 13 points, 8 rebounds, shooting 55% in the 2 games against the Yellow Jackets coming into this one.
Kyle Sturdivant gives it up. Ndongo got a look, couldn't hit it. Tough catch there by Jai, and 2 on the other end, Notre Dame, and that brings on a timeout.
Notre Dame is really hurting. Burton has been fantastic. 13 points, 4 assists, a steal, and not a single turnover in this game.
Dazzling start to the tournament for him. Notre Dame looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, that's something that the Georgia Tech defense has to remedy. They've got to make Notre Dame uncomfortable, because that's when you say, and you're right, that Notre Dame's been comfortable, you know, that's on the Georgia Tech defense to make them uncomfortable. They haven't done that until now.
Yes, picked off by Ndongo, the rangy freshman.
I think that's just a second turnover for Notre Dame, and really the first live ball turnover.
George on the attack, pushes it up there, and it rolls off the 10. They'll get a second try. Kelly's been very quiet so far for the Yellow Jackets. They need him badly. Sturdivant on the spin for 2.
Well, Kyle Sturdivant can make things happen. I think we mentioned he was a starting point guard last year. Got a lot of experience. Nothing really phases him. Never changes expression on the court, but he needs to get as involved as he can offensively, especially if Miles Kelly is struggling.
A really good distributor too. Burton approaching 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. He'll fire another one and add to it. Give him 15 here in the first half. Burton, 6 for 9 shooting.
He just has every counter.
Ndongo rolled a lot on that iron, but he got it to go. 41-29. He's had a solid half with 8 points. But the Yellow Jackets need to find somebody else. Burton on the double. Dribbles out of that. Davis, a handoff back to Burton. It spits free. He hits the deck and wins it back. The possession arrow keeping it here with 7 on that shot clock when that play occurred. But he's also quick getting down.
He is, and he's small, so he can stay low to the ground. But just good hands by Georgia Tech to knock that away as he tried to split defenders.
So Logan Imes, the freshman, will check it in. Finds Shrewsberry. And hits a 2. He is a tough shot maker.
Well, he has not had very many easy shots in this game, to your point. But the fact that he can make these little runners and the mid-range shots is really important, because he's such a good long-range shooter.
Kelly drawing the contact on Imes, will be headed to the line. Notre Dame 43 points already.
Well, Braeden Shrewsberry's got 73 made threes on the season, including 1 today. That's 9th in the league. But that shot fake, having Ndongo go right by so he can just step through, that's a really nice play and shows good poise under pressure.
Notre Dame sizzling 63%. Kelly at the line. All ACC honorable mention, the sophomore out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. But Notre Dame with the 43 points, that's a season high for a first half this season for the Irish.
I think that's going to be brought up at halftime by Damon Stoudemire and his staff. Is this, how can we give up this many points to Notre Dame? And we got to get tighter defensively and make a stand.
So 90 seconds before halftime here at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C., the ACC tournament, starting with this game between the 12 and 13 seeds.
Much better pressure and resistance by Notre Dame. Forced a turnover on the walk, but they pushed Notre Dame further out on the floor, made things more difficult with their ball pressure and getting into passing lanes. I got to get one of those shirts. Is that a medium?
You could pull that off.
I could not. I couldn't pull that off when I could pull it off.
43-31. And another whistle in the paint and a foul here against Notre Dame as Baye Ndongo goes in strong. So he will be headed to the line with 1:06. And shooting two, the freshman from Senegal hits 66% at the foul line. He's their #1 rebounder with 8 a game. Tomorrow night on the ACC network, softball coverage continues. Number 18 Florida State hosting number 15 Alabama. The ESPN app place to get it. Seminoles have won 6 of the last 7. And number 7 Wake Forest taking on number 17 Virginia. Second game of their 3-game series. Baseball coming your way. Coverage Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
I love watching softball. And let me ask you this as a Major League Baseball enthusiast. If you put some of the best Major League hitters having to step into the batter's box in a softball game, how would they do hitting that stuff?
I think they'd be very uncomfortable at those speeds. Very uncomfortable. It would take a little adjustment. Shrewsberry slamming on the brakes. Crowd wanted to travel. Knesny on the baseline with the rebound and 2 for him.
Right, the offensive glass has really hurt Georgia Tech, not just in this game, but in the last game that Jackets played against Notre Dame. They got to finish defensive possessions with a rebound.
Kelly walled off. Up to George. 10 seconds to get off a shot. 20 seconds left in the half.
Good job by Notre Dame to ice that ball screen action. Keep it on the right side.
And Ndongo floating inside again. Got it off in time. It did catch some of the iron there. And a whistle with 9.8.
Well, Knesny did a nice job being there to form a little wall in front of the basket when Ndongo was rolling to the basket. But just a really good offensive rebound by Georgia Tech.
Julian Roper's second personal. And Baye Ndongo to the line. He's had 6 double-doubles this season. Not bad for the freshman at all, but he just missed 4 others by 1 rebound. And he can get to that iron.
He's also a good post defender and probably at his best as a weak side shot blocker.
And Gapari back on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. The 6'9" sophomore. Another free throw coming here for Ndongo. Notre Dame with an opportunity to get off a decent shot. Should they get the ball back, and they will.
You would think that Georgia Tech's going to press up full court here. And they do at least try to slow the advance, if not get a turnover. You just don't want to take any chances. It's going to leave somebody open from 3. But Georgia Tech needs a stop here. You want to keep this only to 10 points. It's not been a great first half.
Imes, and it's deflected out. 7.5. So the Irish will retain possession as we close in on halftime.
Somebody needs to go long here. Gapari's back.
And that's going to roll out. Notre Dame turns it over.
Just a little bit too bunched up. And now Georgia Tech is going to have a chance to get this under 10. It's right through the legs.
6.4 seconds to get up a shot here for the Yellow Jackets. It has been Notre Dame's half, but the Yellow Jackets with a chance here. And Ndongo with a fall away. Final seconds, that ticks away, and it's 45-35 at the break.
Different to me. Notre Dame a month ago, they've continued to get better. And one of the things that struck me, whether you're talking to Markus Shrewsberry or Cal Getter, one of his assistants, they talk about the fact that when they go to practice every day, you'd never know, that they'd lost 7 games in a row at one point. And Naithan George starts the second half just as hot as the first.
So give him 14. If you're just tuning in, this is the third meeting of the season between the two. Notre Dame won the first couple, but very close games. One of them went overtime. Here's Burton with his first touch of the second half. Shrewsberry. Yes, sir. Three-pointer.
How impressive is the movement off the ball of Braeden Shrewsberry? I mean, he came all the way from the left side of the floor to get over into the vision of Markus Burton as he dribbled that ball into the paint.
That's a guy who looks like a different player than much of the regular season, where he averaged 10 points a game. You could see that going through the roof next year.
What a backcourt that Notre Dame is establishing with these two.
Oh, look at the pass. Yeah, Davis got it to go. Burton kind of stumbled through the lane, but then a beautiful give.
Through two defenders and that little right-hand wraparound pass. That was beautiful.
He also has 6 assists along with all the scoring, so he is flat doing it all. Ndongo off the iron with that one, could not finish.
Maybe got away with a little extra step.
Just getting started, second half here at Capital One Arena. Game number 1 of the ACC tournament. On the roll, Jai's going to draw the foul as he is hit by Gapari. He'll pick up the personal.
Take a look at, oh, I hit the wrong guy. Take a look at Shrewsberry right here and watch him. Now there are two guys that I screwed that up, but Shrewsberry comes all the way from one side to another, and Davis gave him a little screen there at the end to get him open, and then Markus Burton draws two defenders, little wraparound pass, beautiful finish by Davis. Boy, when you've got two guards like Shrewsberry and Burton, you know, the other guys can really take advantage of it because they draw so much defensive attention. And if you set a screen and then you look to score immediately after that screen, it's just think screen, score. You're going to find yourself wide open.
Jai knocks him down. Notre Dame's getting a little bit of offense from a number of different guys, and big offense from Markus Burton and Braeden Shrewsberry. They're young but gifted backcourt, and they've opened up a 52-38 lead. So the Yellow Jackets need to find an answer pretty quickly.
And Notre Dame's defense has been packed in, and at times it can look like a zone because Georgia Tech is not getting a lot of movement.
Sturdivant gets the pass away. Coleman inside, and a big fella will finish that. Ndongo with the basket.
Boy, good drive by Coleman and a nice little bass, and give Ndongo credit for making himself available right in the middle. Anytime there's a baseline drive as a big guy, you want to get to the front of the rim.
Baye Ndongo with 14. Shrewsberry with a quick release and a three. It's barely in his hands, Jay.
And he was fading to his right when he took that. That was not your standard, you know, come off a screen, go straight up and down.
And the answer by Reeves, who has the basket of the game on a beautiful balletic reverse in the first half, but only 4 points so far.
Boy, I love the use of the term balletic.
You brought up Julius Erving in the moment. Maybe not quite Dr. J, but it was a lovely play.
When I bring up Dr. J, is that just exposing my age?
Yours and mine. The two of us together, we know exactly where to go with that one. 55-42.
The dirt nap is next.
Yes. And a whistle. They're going inside to Ndongo over and over. 55-42.
Now watch Shrewsberry again, coming off the screen by Jai, just ready to shoot it, and still kind of fading a little bit to get away from the defense. But that ball was not in his hands very long, and he's got double-figure scoring. He's probably only had the ball in his hands for about 12 seconds total.
Man, he has made some shots. So back to the line by Ndongo, the 6'9" freshman. Shrewsberry came in averaging 10 points a game. He's going to blow right by that. 75 three-pointers made, and the second most among D1 freshmen. And playing for his dad. Ndongo's second. Got that.
And Ndongo, another freshman who's had a really good year. He was voted onto the ACC all-freshman team, as was Markus Burton, the ACC Rookie of the Year. It's Notre Dame's first ACC Rookie of the Year. They've had a couple Big East rookies back in those days. But they went a long time as an independent.
Burton trying to penetrate in the lane. Oh, it's blocked by Ndongo.
He also took 4 steps.
Did. George trying to convert on the other end. That rolls off the 10. Roper open from 3. Fight for the rebound. Yeah, he got up there. Ndongo again. Penetrating. Sturdivant lost it.
Just had nowhere to go.
Burton, quick step. It'll be short out of the corner. Ndongo's going to wind up with a big statistical game, win or lose for the Yellow Jackets. Another rebound for him. And now Georgia Tech slowing down the tempo.
There's that little pocket pass, and Ndongo's usually so good out of that, but went to the left hand, just couldn't complete it.
He's going to be late getting back into the play. Burton over the top. That's knocked away. A fight for it. Out of bounds it goes. It'll be Notre Dame ball. Right up against the break here.
Transfers to Arizona. R.J. Davis, the ACC Player of the Year, and Caleb Love, the Pac-12 Player of the Year. That's remarkable.
Incredible. Burton bottled up in the double. And a reach in here. You're going to separate these guys as Roper and George kind of go toe-to-toe. And Jamel Spearman getting right in between them quickly, along with Ramey Steins and Bert Smith, the officiating crew here for game number 1. And they are going to go to the monitor here.
I think they called a cylinder foul here before it was tied up.
And they're going to see if they need to rule on a little something extra after the play as well.
I think they called a technical foul on Roper, oddly enough. But George was in the cylinder early, and I think that's what they called. But Roper came in and pushed Naithan George back, and I think that's what drew a technical, at least from what I could tell.
Yes, that was the case. So that goes against Julian Roper. And Sturdivant will go to the line here for Georgia Tech and shoot with 15:33 to go, just getting underway here in the second half. Yellow Jackets the 13 seed, Notre Dame the 12 seed. And both schools in rebuilding mode. The Yellow Jackets come to Washington as a dangerous team that won 4 of their last 6. Notre Dame has to this point outplayed them. Sturdivant makes 88%. And he front rims the first. They'll get another one here. Notre Dame with 19 losses. But they also have come in playing some pretty good basketball. They certainly showed it in the first half. Georgia Tech's had the better of it at the line, 10 out of 13. And Notre Dame 5 for 6.
And that's got to be uplifting for Markus Shrewsberry, that even though his team out of contention for the NCAA tournament, unless they were to win the ACC tournament championship and the automatic bid, that his team has still been striving to get better.
Well, getting behind his talented freshman is one way to do that in a hurry. That's going to be an offensive.
And you have to know when you're setting that screen that after technical fouls been called, things got a little bit chippy, that the referees are going to clamp down a little bit more right away. And Matt Zona just throwing a little bit too much into this, leaning in and catching George with that left leg.
I think one of the things that surprised both you and I, given the shooting numbers for both schools coming into this game, is they both shot it well. Certainly Notre Dame did in the first half. Second halves have been a choppy performance. Burton full throttle, and he'll draw the foul. Boy, it is tough to keep up with this kid.
He's got such great speed, but the bounce of that ball went back toward the Notre Dame basket and really helped start that break. But you got to give credit to Markus Burton for sticking his nose in there and getting in the lane to grab a rebound, and then he just body seeks Even though he's smaller, he's not trying to avoid contact. He creates it. And because Miles Kelly didn't have legal guarding position, that contact is a foul.
So give the youngsters 16. DJ Burns, NC State, they're coming up next. He is in the house. That is a presence.
Well, you use the term balletic, and that's a big guy with a ballerina's feet. His footwork is excellent.
Last time you and I saw him, he was pouring in 25 points against the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, and Duke did a really good job of pressing up on everybody else. They didn't give double coverage to DJ Burns, and he lit him up, but it wasn't enough.
Kelly catches, fires, not there for him. Rebound tap to Imes. Notre Dame looking to extend their lead now, on top 57-44. Reaching in, Coleman pried it free to give off for Claude for the stuff.
A really nice pass by Coleman, just caught Claude out of the corner of his eye, coming down the middle.
Caught Claude out of the corner. Well done. Zona looking for a guard. Zona rolling to the free throw line, trying to back down right into a double. Can he get free? He does. Booth with the shot and hits the triple.
That's a couple of times in this game that Matt Zona's shown really good poise when he's been facing a cluster of Georgia Tech defenders inside.
Sturman leans in, little iron, and it drops in. Nice touch.
I think Georgia Tech has to do a better job of getting that ball into the paint and playing out of it. You're not going to just windshield wiper it around the perimeter. You got to get a piece of that paint.
I'm sitting at deck, tied up. They're going to keep the basketball here in the possession arrow.
Now Matt Zona gets the ball into the middle, draws two defenders. He could have walked there, but able to kick it out. Actually, it looked like he did take some steps.
So Logan Imes, the freshman from Indiana, trying to get it in. He does for Burton. Burton, another double on him, gets free. Do a good job swinging it here. Booth with a slam as he went up into the rafters to jam this one down.
Great shot fake and excellent ball reversal out of the double up top.
Coleman, too strong, airmails it. And it'll be Notre Dame ball here with 13-18 left.
This is how you handle a double team. Just dribble out of it and reverse the ball. And when Booth catches it, that shot fake made the play and opened up the middle.
And Kerry Booth, who's a freshman, another talented freshman, had a 17.9 rebound gem against Virginia. So another youngster who is really capable of lighting it up on dunks like that.
Well, his last two games coming into this one, he was 4 of 15 from the field, but he was really good. I thought his best game was against Wake Forest. He had 15 points and 5 rebounds against the Deacons.
Matt Zona, the senior, back to the freshman Burton.
Trying to get the ball out of his hands and can't do it.
And a shove as he's fouled with exactly 13 minutes to play. Back to that slam.
The reversal was excellent. And you're closing out, just gave a little shot fake. Coleman comes up and then just opens up the middle for Kerry Booth.
Miles Kelly, third foul. Zona swish it in from three-point distance.
That's his 13th made three of the year. And Notre Dame has shot the ball extraordinarily well in this already from three-point range in this game. And there's still a long way to go.
Another freshman for the Yellow Jackets, Baye Ndongo. He has 15. He's got it up high now for the Yellow Jackets. They desperately need a run right here. Basketball free. George will scoop it up. He's in attack mode, and the kick. Sturdivant. Yes, boy, they needed that one.
They did. And the broken play with Naithan George getting into the lane. Sturdivant wide open in the corner. Boy, was he ready to shoot. Now Georgia Tech pressing up full court. The Yellow Jackets have to make something happen defensively.
Zona with a three. Davis plucks away the rebound. Right back in there will draw the whistle. He's headed to the line to shoot two.
Well, that was good action by Notre Dame with the screen from Davis in order to free up Matt Zona for that shot. But Davis, after he got the offensive rebound, boy, that was a big step with the left foot to go up with the left hand and get fouled.
Davis, sophomore out of Indianapolis, he was huge in their victory over Virginia in December. He had 17 points, 14 in the second half, along with 9 rebounds.
Transferred in from Seton Hall. In one of the games against Georgia Tech, banked in a three.
And I know among the things you're looking forward to here in Washington in this tournament, aside from Dan Schulman coming back to join you at your elbow, is going to be watching Virginia and how they manage this tournament.
Oddly enough, with the start that Virginia got off to this season, Joe Lunardi has them right near the cut line. So I think Virginia needs to win.
Kelly in and out.
What a rebound.
Big rebound by Gapari. Kelly with a second effort. Tough bounce in the lane and a whistle. And Ndongo is desperate to finish that, but he'll be back to the line. So we have 11:45 remaining in this one. Georgia Tech needs
foul. Let's be smart. They have to value their offensive possessions. If Notre Dame continues to run good offense and get good shots, a comeback is improbable for Georgia Tech.
The only thing that can help them is fouls, he said. 66-51. And Ndongo another foul shot. Gets that one. And now more pressure here by the Yellow Jackets.
How about Markus Burton catching that ball in a coffin corner and getting rid of it right away?
Konechny had it knocked away, and Georgia Tech touched it last.
Notre Dame, two places you don't want it. Right here in the corner where you get trapped, but Burton got rid of it right away. And Konechny picks up his dribble right past midcourt. You're just going to get trapped again. Can't pick your dribble up there.
Offensive again with 11:33 to go. Goes against the Irish. And against Burton.
They got him on that little screen. Looked like he used his elbow instead of just his body. And Markus Shrewsberry is probably saying, didn't I just say no fouls?
Right.
He just leans in, uses that left elbow.
The first half was very fluid. That has not been the case in the second half, but Notre Dame continues to shoot the ball extremely well. Dumped down for Ndongo, and he will drop in two.
Gapari getting a piece of the paint, and there's another catching it in the wrong spot. You cannot catch the ball there.
You do get it free to Burton. Into the paint with the kick. Booth will fire. Well short. And is this the opening that the Yellow Jackets require to climb back in this thing?
The full court pressure speeding the tempo, and as a result, Notre Dame wound up taking a quick shot.
George on the drive. Difficult pass and another whistle. And time again able to get it downstairs. Gapari this time will draw the foul.
And Notre Dame really needs to do a good job of keeping that ball out of the paint. For the most part, they've kept their defense tight and made it difficult. For the most of the game, Georgia Tech has seen bodies and not wood. They don't see a lot of openings, but the last few possessions they've been able to get it into the paint a little bit easier.
Gapari 67%, leading this team in block shots. And back on the floor now is Logan Imes, another freshman for Markus Shrewsberry. He is leaning on his kids, as he's had to do all season long. And his son, one of those guys most prominently, Braeden Shrewsberry, has had a really fine game. Yellow Jackets make them both, and once again within 10.
And Gapari able to be on the ball with that length, make it difficult to get it in. Good decision to bring it back out.
Boy, Burton makes a lot of those kind of decisions.
Yeah, I think his decision making has really improved over the course of the season. How are you going to stay with that? Are you kidding?
Oh my.
I mean, he just took him right, then crossed over left and back. And as long as Gapari is, he's not staying with that.
Ndongo finding Kelly for a long one. He swishes in a three-pointer.
Well, you can't get caught in no man's land there. When Georgia Tech gets it in the paint, you've got to stay with Miles Kelly because he's a good shooter.
Shrewsberry quickly across midcourt. Reeves will try that move again that he had in the first half that really lit everybody up. Jai there going for that move.
Take a look at this crossover move. He just left Gapari in the dirt there. And then you get stuck right here in no man's land. Imes trying to take away that little baseline pass, but there was somebody else there. You got to worry more about the three-point line, especially when you have a lead like this. That's just too much ground to have to cover on a closeout.
So Kevin Jai shooting, 6'10" sophomore.
Now, Dave, in help side defense, generally the further your man is away from the ball, the more you can help. But you certainly have to move as the ball moves and get back to three-point shooters. The three-point line changes everything in your help defense.
Smooth touch there for the big fella to make it 70-59. Ndongo with a kick out. Sturdivant's long one. In and out. Another big rebound and the finish. Gapari downstairs, and he can be a load at 6'9".
Well, especially with that length. That was a terrific rebound. But again, getting the ball in the paint's been the key.
Tapped out by Sturdivant. It will be Notre Dame ball as they continue to press on the Georgia Tech side.
And one thing Notre Dame can't do is they can't just keep running to the baseline because they catch it. It's an immediate trap. You've got to take your man to the baseline, then go the other way. And you can get on the run and break this pressure.
Shrewsberry to check it in against Gapari, who can leap. Burton poked away, and a foul here against the Irish.
A terrific job by Miles Kelly to knock that ball away. Burton had it in his right hand, and when he was going by, Kelly just reached out with his right hand and knocked it away. Little court pressure. They've sped up Notre Dame, and now you knock these two free throws in. All of a sudden, there's a lot more game pressure on Notre Dame.
Kyle Sturdivant making number one. So Damon Stoudemire's team trying to rally. They're doing that right now, and they're making their foul shots. Sturdivant's their best guy at the line, almost 90%. And he makes the pair. Don't look now. This is a 7-point game.
And the full court pressure with Gapari on the ball still in force, and it's speeding Notre Dame up a little bit.
Back for Markus Burton, who's been the unquestioned star in this game. Irish suddenly need his offense again.
Got a switch.
Trying to step back, can't fire it.
Good job by Gapari to stay down on that fake.
Davis getting it up there, but a misfire, and that never touched the iron. So that goes back over to the Yellow Jackets.
A good stand by Georgia Tech. Boy, you get these stops and follow it up with scores, and all of a sudden there's a different look on the Notre Dame players' faces right now, and a furrowed brow from Markus Shrewsberry.
Yeah, completely different energy in the building these last 5 minutes or so. Notre Dame with a bunch of turnovers in the second half. Sturdivant wants to fire it up there. Rebound comes to Davis. Knocked away and stolen from behind by Miles Kelly.
What awareness.
Kelly, their top scorer, has been really quiet in this one, but he's got time. Sturdivant trying to attack. Shot clock down to 9. Long jumper by George, and a foul too. My goodness, 70-66, and he's headed to the line.
Guess who? Naithan George, first the steal. Davis just tucks it in, trying to let everybody clear, and Miles Kelly takes it away. But a great cut to the ball by Naithan George. Never took his eyes off the rim, and Burton just, his momentum took him right into George, picked up the foul. This could be a 4-point play.
How about that? What a rally here for the Yellow Jackets. In their third meeting with Notre Dame, the Irish won the first two. Both of them were incredibly close. This is as close as this game has been since the score was 7-4.
The full court pressure has really affected Notre Dame, but we talked about valuing offensive possessions, and Kyle Sturdivant right now is just sticking to Markus Burton. That's a great matchup for Georgia Tech.
Davis went to make a move and a whistle before that, stopping the clock with 8:12 to go.
Looked like they got Ndongo just grabbing a jersey.
Yeah, they're going to get Gapari for that one. That's number 4.
Gapari.
Yeah, his 4th. Kebajai headed to the line.
Well, that's a big foul for Georgia Tech because it takes away the length of Gapari on the ball for out of bounds underneath.
Their number 1 shot blocker. So Jai, the sophomore out of Centerville, Ohio. And a 75% foul shooter, and makes number 1.
Guy came over to Notre Dame from Penn State, where he played for Markus Shrewsberry.
Did a really good job on Kyle Filipowski in both of the games that Notre Dame played against Duke, holding him to 7 points in South Bend and 8 at Cameron Indoor. And he will have that one roll off the iron.
Georgia Tech has to keep attacking the paint. That's when they can get it into the lane, into the blue, draw the defense, and then spray it. But Notre Dame's done a pretty good job of packing it in.
George has pulled off a 4-point play moments ago. Got the pass to Ndongo for 2. Boy, he had a terrific day.
Well, he really does a good job in those screen roll situations with George. Now George on the ball, that makes Georgia Tech a lot smaller in trying to guard that inbounds pass.
Davis on Coleman across midcourt, 71-69. Huge recovery by the Yellow Jackets here in Washington. Shrewsberry drills that one from 3-point land.
Well, how do you leave him that wide open?
Shrewsberry with 18. Long one, Kelly. Rebound, big battle for that. The officials will get together, and he's going to stay on this end. 74-69. It looked like Notre Dame had a chance to run away with this.
Overall, points off turnovers in favor of Georgia Tech. In the first half, it was 8-4 in favor of Notre Dame.
Freshmen have been on center stage. Ndongo at 20. George with 18 for Georgia Tech. And he went up against Burton. George did, and hit the elbow as he drew the foul.
If you didn't know the age of Naithan George and Markus Burton, you'd never know they were freshmen. Both of them have been so poised in this game, and Markus Burton's shown great poise throughout the course of the year, but Naithan George just keeps getting better and better. I mean, he's got 18 points and 6 assists in this game, only 1 turnover.
7 minutes to go as George goes to the line. Foul number 4 on Markus Burton.
And I don't think Markus Shrewsberry can afford to take him out. Just tell him not to pick up his 5th foul, but he's got to leave him out there.
He has 19 points and 7 assists. And the Yellow Jackets making their foul shots. They're back within 3 and pressing again. This press has been deadly.
That's the 22nd free throw attempt for Georgia Tech, and that was the same number of free throws that Notre Dame got in the second matchup, which is a big difference.
Davis into the paint, nothing there.
But how much different is Georgia Tech's defensive profile in the second half? They're making everything difficult for Notre Dame.
They sure have. Playing with great energy. Shrewsberry, long one. Yes, sir! Another triple.
You should never have to close out to him. You just don't want to leave him. He has been on fire in this game.
Another tie up here right around the foul line. They're going to let him play. And now the whistle.
How could that not have been a tie? Like, there's no way Ndongo could get the ball away from Jai without tying it up first.
Seemed to take forever. So 6:19 to go. Possession arrow will keep it here.
Great job by Jai to get that hand low. But how do you take the ball away from him without being tied up first? Boy, just a great job of Burton getting into the lane to draw the defense and get it to contract. And then Shrewsberry ready to shoot it. And I think Damon Stoudemire asking the same question I was, is how do you leave him open on that? You got a gang of guys around Burton, and if he scores in there, it's just a 2.
Back to a 6-point lead for the Irish. Georgia Tech with the ball. Naithan George, the freshman point guard, picked up the dribble. Shot clock down to 3 with the long one coming. All sorts of iron by Coleman. Somehow it went down.
That's the definition of soft shooting touch.
We've seen some shot making in game 1.
When you have to think when Georgia Tech gets the ball back, they're going to start targeting Markus Burton and just go right at him.
Davis swinging into the lane. Imes. Burton's been a little quiet the last couple of minutes. Gave it up. It's loose again. George with the save. And here come the Yellow Jackets again.
Great help by Miles Kelly. Great help.
The Yellow Jackets with a chance to tie, and they were down as many as 17. George got it to go.
And that's exactly what Damon Stoudemire was calling out. He wanted Naithan George to take on Markus Burton one-on-one. Put him in a position to pick up that 5th foul or back off.
He's had a big day with 22. 1-point contest. Under 5 to go. Burton looking for the shot off the window. No, it's tapped right back to him though. Here's Shrewsberry. Yellow Jackets trying to grab the lead. It's been forever. In fact, they have never led in this game.
Now Burton was guarding Coleman, so Coleman comes over to set a screen just to pick up the switch.
And another one by George going one-on-one to put Georgia Tech in front by a point.
Well, that's really smart by Georgia Tech and by Damon Stoudemire. Keep putting Markus Burton in a position where he has to guard. The 4th foul he picked up was huge in this game.
Burton again slams on the brakes.
Great job by Kelly to stay down on that shot fake, make him give it up.
7 to shoot. Imes with a shot. That won't drop, and a whistle. 3:49 to go.
And Naithan George, the freshman from Toronto on
Notre Dame, as they try and recover the lead. They were up by as many as 17 when the score was 65-48 as he makes number 1. So it's been a great comeback by the Yellow Jackets. Notre Dame winning the first 2 meetings of the year, but they were both white knucklers right down to the final moments. This one may be 2.
Well, even when Georgia Tech was down 17, maybe we should have known it. It seems like every time these teams play, ever since they became ACC members, every game comes down to the wire.
George sealed off.
Terrible pass.
Yeah, great save there. While sailing out by Kelly. Kelly's got it way downtown. He can't sink it. Notre Dame by 1 and the ball.
Now, without Markus Burton in there to run the offense, where does Notre Dame go?
Davis on the spin, still working. Shrewsberry, shot clock to 5. Davis glanced at it, trying to slice in. Not there for him. He battles for it. Get back, and it's Jai with the basketball.
Jai went after that, or Ndongo went after that block shot. and that opened up the offensive rebound when he went to the deck.
Davis, and they're going to call that an offensive foul. That'll be his fourth.
It's probably that off arm that drew the call. And Ndongo just maintained that legal guarding position, stayed in front. But my guess is it was the arm that drew the foul more than the body contact. What a
Kelly
pass.
zips the pass for Sturdivant. Rebound pops up. Ndongo again for two more. Continues to have a huge day with 22.
Well, he's been a man inside. That's his second offensive rebound. But couldn't have come at a better time for Georgia Tech.
They have the lead again by one in a timeout. And time is about to become a big. The Yellow Jackets, with their press in particular and their foul shooting and some big plays, are suddenly up by one again.
Markus Burton back in the ball game, being guarded by Kyle Sturdivant. Got the switch.
Burton's been the man in the paint, not there. Himes to drive it. Well, the defense for the Yellow Jackets has been so tough, forcing that shot that will not go.
But give Georgia Tech credit. Not only did they play hard and together defensively, but they stayed down on fakes. In the first half and the first part of the second half, that wasn't the case.
Notre Dame has missed their last 5 shots.
Here's the switch. Now Burton back on George.
Coleman hit a big 3 moments ago, and that one around and out. Nice save by Ames on the baseline. Gets it free to Shrewsberry. Burton just a blur and the basket.
Boy, what a pass by Shrewsberry.
Notre Dame by 1.
Miles Kelly was trailing him and just about to knock that out of his hands with that back tip, and Shrewsberry found Tech to continue to target him defensively. They were going right at him, putting him in a position to pick up that 5th foul or have to back off a bit.
Yeah, he just scored his first points in about 9.5 minutes. But a big basket as we come to the 1-minute mark. That's a free basketball. And out it goes, and a turnover by the Yellow Jackets with 57 seconds to play.
They just tried that little pocket pass, but threw it behind him. And Ndongo trying to tip it to Sturdivant. He just needs to grab that ball.
Boy, the Yellow Jackets have been taking care of the ball so well. That's their first turnover in 15 minutes.
No, it's not fatal. They just need to get a stop here. Miles Kelly guarding Shrewsberry, and you got to stay with him.
Burton back in.
Now Coleman switched off onto Burton, and Burton can go around him.
7 to get off a shot. Now down to 5. Burton wants it. Trying to wriggle free and can't connect. Rebounded away by Davis, and he'll draw the foul. And a huge board by the 6'9" sophomore.
So well defended by Georgia Tech. Forced the miss. Their first shot defense was excellent. Coleman staying in front, the little step through. But a terrific job by Jai to keep that ball alive so Davis can grab it. And Damon Stoudemire not enjoying the fact that his team played such great defense but couldn't cap it off with a defensive rebound.
Davis shooting 2 and makes number 1. He's 72%. Yeah, he's been very productive down the stretch for Notre Dame. Had 15 points in their victory over Wake Forest. So once again, Burton back to the sideline. At least for now, 24.9 seconds. That will not count.
A lane violation.
Lane violation here against the Irish. So wave that one off. They lead by 2 with about 25 seconds to play. And the Yellow Jackets in possession.
Boy, what a big play that was.
And here's George, who has been a whirlwind in the second half for Georgia Tech. They need him again. 13 seconds left. 2-point game. George. Batted away by Davis, and they turn it over.
Boy, what a play by Davis. Just active hands.
5 seconds left, and the foul against Georgia Tech.
Give Markus Shrewsberry credit. He took Markus Burton out defensively, put Davis on to George, and look at that high hand knocking the ball away. Talk about a game-winning play for Notre Dame.
So it'll be Shrewsberry at the line. He's been marvelous today. He's an 80% foul shooter. And shooting with 5 seconds to play, and gets number 1 to make this a 3-point contest.
Knock this one down. It's a 2-possession game and essentially over.
And the freshman does exactly that. Now Notre Dame making 9 of their last 10 foul shots and a timeout. And we'll keep it right here. Georgia Tech taking a timeout. Notre Dame has had in the spotlight today. You can't think that the coming seasons are going to be a lot of fun. Here's George to push one up there, and that won't drop. And there's the final horn. Notre Dame wins it by a final of 84-80. Shrewsberry with 23, Burton with 21, and